Hello and good evening and welcome to The Truth Behind the Truth. Yes, indeed. Hello, and hello again.
Yeah.
It's an exciting day, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time out to be a part of this normal and wonderful show on Saturday evenings, where we aspire to bring truth and light to your life, in many ways that we can. What our motto is, hey, finding your authenticity so that what, Parnell? So you telling me what?
Not my job to make you comfortable with my life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mind your damn business.
You tell him what?
What'd you say?
And you tell him what, Harold?
You are enough.
You are enough. Okay. I like Parnell's schedule. It's not your job to get the hell out of my life. That's what paraphrasing what he says. Okay. But anyway, yes, we want to welcome you guys to a great evening tonight. It's going to be a very informative evening tonight. We have one of California's best and greatest, with us tonight. We have Reverend Tony Pierce that will be with us this evening, speaking on economic empowerment. Man,
money.
If y'all saw, if y'all saw the promo with the young lady with her hands out, was raining money all over her, at the end of the day. So, hey, we want money to rain on you. You know what I'm saying? And through this, actually, Pastor Tony will be spending some time with us once a month, getting you guys ready. Okay, right. Getting you guys ready. Okay, getting you ready. Typically, we're going to get us a little bit toward the African American community because we want y'all to be the next new Black Wall Street. Okay, but some things that we got to learn. Okay, to put in place so that we can be the next Black Wall Street. Okay, in the process.
We want to stop looking wealthy and really be wealthy.
Come on now. See, where you starting already.
We need we need to start a movement.
Okay, well that's true too.
A movement needs to be in place for that.
That is that is so true too. Well, I think with Pastor Tony's vision, and what he is really implementing here in California, and it is spreading nationwide. But it's so good to be a part of this, that's happening in California. Here, we need you back in California because this is already starting in your hometown. So,
well, if that $5 million become real, I'll be moving back.
Well, from the way it looks, it's probably gonna be. So you better, you better sell that other mansion and come and buy the other mansion out here. Okay.
Hey, Ms. Allen.
Good evening, Ms. Allen. Thank you for joining us. So I'm really excited to dig into that and find out a lot, that information that that we don't know. At the end of the day. So we're all here to be educated, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's dig in. Parnell, how you doing? Good to see you, brother.
I'm doing great. I'm just sitting there trying to see how can I spend that $5 million. I buy a house.
When we got stuck in.
Say which way to go with it.
Which way to go.
How about you here? How you doing, brother?
Give me some hair for when I feel like I want it.
Some hair. Get your unit.
Okay, some hair. Harold, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing better today. I started therapy yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I know I have some healing to do. And I don't think that you're ever healed.
Okay.
But I know that there's some blind spots that I have. So I started yesterday, and I felt like I was in possession of JB because I was crying half the time during the therapy session. I'm like, the spirit of JB is on me. But it was I didn't expect to get so emotional,
wow, so beautiful.
And just some stuff was coming. I mean, I was crying to the point where I could barely talk, and I'm like, what? And I don't cry. But that's part of the problem, though, because I hold so much in. And that first session, it wore me out. I was so tired afterwards. Dealing with your emotions, that's can be very draining.
Yeah.
You needed that release.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And I think that's one of the concerns that most people have is that because it is draining, and number one thing is like when you start facing yourself, oh my God, it is draining. And you really start saying, oh my God, am I like this? Or have I been dealing with this? Oh man, I do need to cry. What I mean? I need to let it out, in the point, whether it's disappointment or joy. I think it's more joy that, at that moment, we kind of categorize it as sorrow, but I think it's more joy because of the release. you know. So I think that those tears are more joyful tears because you walk away from it and you feel refreshed, you know, and rather than being burdened down or whatever, you know, from the situation, you know, like that, you know. And I believe me, I've had my own therapy moments by myself and with other people, and I don't cry at all. Y'all know I don't cry.
Never seen you cry.
You know,
right. We ain't never seen you shed a tear.
you ain't never seen me shed a tear, not at all, you know.
But you know, it's that, like you're saying, that part of you that never dealt with that trauma or that hurt, when you go to therapy, that version of you that's still there,
right,
needs to have that and to deal with that. You know, a lot of times you always say with therapy, you got to find that inner child or that whatever, and help that version of you deal with that so that you can move on to the healed person, you know, because it's so much easier just to like, stuff it away and not think about it, not forget about it, until you realize how it's affecting how you're living today.
Right.
You know, well, it's like, and it doesn't have to be like harmful, you know, you're going to destroy yourself stuff, but a lot of times there's those little things that make us feel differently or think differently about ourselves or about other people. Like, why am I thinking that? And you connect the dots, like, oh my God, I never realized that what happened to me when I was 11 years old, you know, is still affecting how I think about myself or other people today. And just somebody who is not like emotionally involved in your life, but who can just look and say, you know, have you ever thought about blah, 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 and why that may, oh my God.
Right. And it's like, why do I keep having these fears and anxiety and nothing is going on to, you know, everything is good, but why am I still having these fears and anxiety, you know? And so it was good. It was good. So I'll be seeing her every other week. That's all I can handle right now.
Okay. Well, you know, hey, if you want to come to the show and cry, it's okay.
I'm all cried out.
Okay. You know, it's okay. We won't hold you back. But I honestly appreciate you sharing that tonight, because, you know, as we create on our platform, we should be a healing platform. You know what I mean? And with us finding our levels of truth, you know, our extended truth behind our truth helps us be more vulnerable, you know, for everybody else that we are here for each and every week, you know, so that their lives can change. So how you doing?
I'm doing good.
He's got a great story of being vulnerable. I don't know if you want to share it real quick about it when he was in acting class, but you know, you know,
that's so. Oh my goodness, that was a long time ago.
I won't put him on the spot. But I did put him on the spot. But, you know.
Well, I hope, you know what, to be honest with you, Harold, I think that is that's a big step. And going to therapy, you know, we all need to be seeking therapy somewhere.
Yes.
You know, and I hear it all the time, right? In these times, because mental illness, you know, it's been on the rise.
Right. Yeah, it is.
But it's just the fact that it's so prevalent on our social media accounts and feeds and all that crazy. You see people reacting in the most negative, violent way these days.
Absolutely.
With no thinking of consequence and not even understanding where is that coming from.
Right.
And I be honest with you, that therapy right now should be the #1 trend in this country.
That's good.
It should be a lot of people should invest in that more than they invest in clothes.
Well,
I just feel like that to be on a real tip, because right now we are all out of this world, and you know, with everything going on politically, entertainment, you know, even religious stuff.
Absolutely.
You know,
that's one of the biggest traumas right there.
People are really not in sync with what's going on, what's happening. So I commend Harold. And to be honest with you, you know what? That's making me want to go out and seek some therapy myself. So, but I'm feeling good.
Y'all know every time you say something, the song is playing in my head.
Which one? I'm all cried out over you.
Well, that we played, and then feeling good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know, I do like the fact that you bring it up, and thank our producer for putting the National Suicide Hotline, you know, going across the screen. So if you guys do know somebody that is in a challenging position in their life, please encourage them, you know, to seek help. Okay, typically men and men of color. Okay, because we all men are having trauma. Don't get us wrong now, please. But I think that we become the spotlight because of so many of the reasons, And then men, typically men of color, they have it coming from their wives, girlfriends, and all these other things, and they don't know how to process that.
No, they don't.
I mean, we're just getting past the fact that two men can hug each other without having trauma about giving a hug. I mean, that's been as you know, we've talked about it a couple times on the show. That what's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? And that is a part of your therapy. At the end of the day, as being able to embrace a brother, and express your tears or whatever your sorrows and your joys at that particular point in time. I want to bring up. There is a group, and I meant to. I apologize to our audience. Maybe I can put it up next week. I meant to get it to our engineer. That there's this group of African American men that have started this. I think it's a monthly kind of one day retreat. And what they're doing is inviting teen young men and older gentlemen to come together. They're taught yoga, and this is this particular yoga session that they're doing. They're doing a therapy session to talk about their inner hurts and all of these things. So they have this movement that's going on now. Okay. And I'm really glad to see that. Matter of fact, it was actually last here in LA. It was here last Saturday they did that, and I meant to give them a little boost about it, what's going on. But just to our audience, if you see that, or if you're on social media and you see that, encourage your men to go out and support that. Typically men of color, in that regard. Not saying that all men don't need, therapy, but they certainly do. And thank you for putting this back up, up again. This particular picture or portrait or whatever, as we talked about many times on the show, has been the one. It's still being controversial today. It's still being controversial. They're still talking about it. Rather than being about it and making some changes in their lives. I mean, what do you guys have to say about it, real quick?
I'd rather see brothers hugging each other than attacking each other all the damn time.
Okay, well, there you go.
Killing each other, right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so true about that. I certainly, and I just hope that we can eventually get past that. I did a little history information on why embracing is so much more conducive versus the handshakes. And handshake was the developed in a Western culture at the art of war. So that was your agreement to start to go to war, and you didn't want that person to get in your space. So with the handshake, you kept them from coming near you. So what happened is they adopted it as a way of greeting, which it really wasn't. You were actually getting ready to get at war with the person that was in front of you.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
So that's kind of a little historic point about it, in that regard. But anyway, we got to get ready for a break, okay? And I thank you, gentlemen, for sharing the Herald, especially tonight with that. And I think we've been able to equate this in to the trauma that we experience not managing our finances, as we should. So we're going to get ready to go for a wonderful break, okay? And we'll be back with our special guest this evening, Reverend Tony Pierce, and we're going to dig in, okay? So get your pens and paper out, y'all, because y'all need to take some notes tonight, all right? And if you got any questions that you want to ask him, get it in quickly so that we can address it. If not, email it to us and we'll deal with it on another show. But please put it in the comments if you can tonight. All right, we'll see you guys in a minute.
Call 844-55-STARZ. It's Junk Stars, baby.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
call Junk Stars.
You need dumpster rentals,
call Junk Stars.
All right, and we are back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth tonight. An exciting night of empowerment in your pocket. We're going to try to put some money in your pocket, or at least try to teach you how to get the money in your pocket. All right, well, without further ado, we're going to bring to the show for the very first time, okay, but certainly not going to be the last, because we got a lot to learn from it. Donald's going to give the introduction and talk about this wonderful, wonderful pastor.
So, Reverend Tony Pierce. Now, I call him the pastor of many trades. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, he is the pastor of many trades, political advisor. Oh, my goodness. And also a banker, investment banker.
Yes.
But let's get into more information about him. He is the founder of Godnomics and the Black Wall Street Project.
Yes.
He has studied theology in San Jose Bible College, where after he did that, he has served as a senior pastor at Metropolitan AMZ Zion Church of Los Angeles, associate pastor at the St. Mark's AME Zion Church of East Palo Alto, Northern California. Also, he also majored in business administration in California State University, as well as the University of the Pacific.
Wow.
So I'm telling you, y'all, this is going to be an interesting conversation.
Absolutely.
And I'm telling you, Tony Pierce, we welcome you. So come on with it.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Hey, thank you guys. Okay. Thank you. Who was that you were talking about?
I know. And the funny part about it, you did all that before you were 22.
Yeah.
I'm 23 now.
Exactly. So welcome, Pastor. Welcome. It's a joy to have you with us tonight, and to hear about all this wonderful empowerment that we're going to get ready to make some money. Okay.
There we go.
All right. So share real briefly with us as to, if you can kind of conceal it kind of quick, and just kind of tell everybody what you're doing right now and how they can even support you in the aspect of what you're doing, especially here in California. Okay.
Yes. Well, Black Wall Street Project, we're about building generational wealth for our people. The first thing that happened in this country so far as we as African Americans as organization was the church. The church started in 1873, the first Black church. Mm-hmm. It was a Baptist church. And then the next thing that happened was Black Wall Street in the 1800s.
Yes.
So 1700s, first organization, churches, Black Wall Streets all over the country. People aren't aware of this. Mm-hmm. Just about in every major town, there was a Black Wall Street. And then the third thing that came was NAACP. That was the 1900s to fight for social justice. So we're about putting money in your pocket. We fight for economic justice and empowerment. We want to build generational wealth. It is my personal wish that before I leave this earth, I make as many African Americans wealthy as I can. Yeah. Now, we're a nonprofit organization.
Yes.
We're not asking, you to invest with us. We'll give you investment advice if you want it, but I mean, that's not what we're here for. We're here to put money in your pocket and help you build generational wealth. By that, I mean, I'm not taking money for investments. We don't take money for investments. I can advise you about stuff. I can refer you places. We're a nonprofit for all African Americans.
Yes.
And then for everybody else.
Yes. Beautiful.
So let me ask you this question, Pastor Tony Pierce. I'm so sorry, Harold, for cutting you off. But in order for us to get to that point, do we need to further ourselves into politics? Because in your bio, you have been doing a lot of political stuff. I hate to say stuff, but you've been in the midst of a lot of political situations that could really help our community. Do you think, as a race of people, do we need to really get ourselves immersed so we can start building up that foundation and that knowledge? Because I feel like at the end of the day, there has to be some involvement for us to understand how this stuff really works when it boils down to building generational wealth. Do you agree?
I totally agree. Now, interesting enough, we're about the only people in the world that have achieved political power without having economic power first.
Got you.
So there is an importance for social justice. There's importance for political power, but romance without finance stands no chance.
Right.
I know that's right.
I'm gonna write that down.
90% of the world's problem is money.
Right.
You got the money, you don't have a problem. So yes, we should do political stuff. We have to stay entrenched politically, and especially now, because we're working nationally. We're working in California, but we're a national organization and global. So, and we come out of the 1800 movement. Black Wall Street is alive. It didn't die in the ashes. We're still here. Unfortunately, the one in Tulsa took a very heavy toll.
Yes.
But we're still alive. Now, politically, it's important for us to be on top of things because states now are looking at what is called reparations. Right. And they're looking to pay out to African Americans. There's about 13 states now in this nation, California being one, and California is in the leadership of this role. We first stepped out there and says, state, we want to repay. Reparations is to try to repair the damage, the illegal damage that was done from an illegal, ill-gotten gain.
Wow. Wow.
And so what we're trying to do in California, and we're working with other states, we're trying to get these payouts, and not just for current payouts, but going back to slavery when we were kidnapped and brought here. We're the only people that didn't buy a ticket to get on the boat.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. That's
we didn't
true.
buy a ticket to get on this boat. We were kidnapped.
Right.
And we have ancestors crying out for justice that were thrown overboard en route because either the ships were too full or some may have been ill. I have my ancestors crying out of the Atlantic Ocean for justice. And so we're fighting for reparations, and it's a political battle. So back to what you're saying, these political states can do this. The government federally could do it.
Right.
But because of the people that are in power in Congress now, the wish isn't there. So some of the states have decided to act on their own. And within those states, there's also cities acting on their own. San Francisco, Los Angeles, Hayward, Culver City. I'm just talking about places. Anyway, go ahead.
Go ahead, Harold.
So Reverend Tony, when we talk about generational wealth, isn't wealth more of a mindset? And how does that happen so that generational wealth can become real?
Right. So, yes, it is very much a mindset. If you can believe, you can receive.
Right.
If you believe, you can receive. The reason why you got those shoes you got on your feet is because you believe you can have them, and you got them.
Right.
So if you can believe, you can receive. Now, it isn't all African Americans people's fault that they are broke today, that they are poor. It's not their fault. When you were a slave, you better not have had no money. You could not have a dollar on you. Forget a dollar. You couldn't have a penny on you. If you were found as a slave with a penny on you back during slavery times, they would hang you from the tree and leave you up there for a week to let others know you can't have money. And they tell a lie, you must have stolen it. And so they would leave us up there. There are instances where a little child, African-American children, have found coins on the ground and were found playing with them. Guess what? Wow. They hung our African-American children too.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Terrible. Shame on you, America.
Right.
Terrible.
Yeah.
So it's not our fault. We've been kept away from money. We were taught from the pulpit a terrible gospel that money is evil, that money is no good. The Bible does not say that.
That's not
That's
at
a
all.
damnable lie.
Right.
It says the love of money. It wants you to put God first, and I put God before money because he'll get me the money. But anyway, I'm just saying that we've been taught this from the inception, and it's not our fault. We have to free our minds and free our mindsets of this. Yeah. We can really have money. A lot of people don't think I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. And they don't really believe it in their heart.
Right, absolutely.
If you believe it in your heart, you can be a millionaire. You can be a billionaire.
That's right. Absolutely. Go ahead, Parnell.
I'm working on it. Go buy my lotto ticket. I'm just kidding.
I can't. But still,
I'm not opposed to lotto at all. Do you know the children of Israel drew lots in order to decide who was going to get what land after they left Egypt? That's where lotto started.
Come on now.
Do you know Jesus's disciple that took Judas's place? They drew lots. It all started in the Bible. I got nothing. Buy them lotto tickets. You don't have to buy 100. I buy one. I buy one every week, so I'm in the game.
That truth behind the truth. I love it. Go ahead, Parnell, with your point.
I've been watching the 1619 Project on Hulu, with Nicole Hannah-Jones, and it's interesting. She talks about, because you got a lot of people when it comes to reparations. Why should we have to pay it now? Nobody here was involved with slavery, blah blah blah. And starting with that is like, well, here's the thing, because although America abolished slavery, there was no plan to help Black people find economic freedom or education. They had to fight for that, and they made that difficult. With the Jim Crow laws, there was all these rules, that were put in place with the farming loans that went out, that we know that Black people were left out of the loans that they got. And say, if America had paid its debt that it said it was going to pay after the Civil War, that debt would be paid, and we wouldn't be having this conversation today. And it's always so difficult to try to get white people in particular to understand that, because that's the most resistance coming through, is that, well, why should we have to do it? And I said, well, if your mom and daddy would have paid it's like with any debt that accumulates, if you're from a family and you accumulate certain wealth and your parent dies and things are passed on to you, guess what is also passed on to you? The debt. And that's where we are now.
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked that question. Okay. I mean, shame on you, America. Shame on you. I mean, you stole this, you kidnapped us, you brought us here. We built, first of all, let's clear this up. I'm going to tell you you listen to this closely. We built the infrastructure of this country. We were the architects. We were the contractors. We were the builders of this country. Okay. Washington, D.C. was laid out and architecturally and laid out exactly where the Capitol is going to be sitting. That sits there today, the White House, the Supreme Court, by a Black man named Benjamin Banneker. I wear his watches, Banneker watches, okay, was a genius. Now, you talk about freedom. We gave you freedom. How? We sculptured it. Do you know the first statue for freedom is not the Statue of Liberty? That's a lie. The first statue of freedom was done in the 1700s by a Black slave who was trying to explain to the colony before we fought for freedom that you need freedom. Now, here's a Black slave trying to explain to the people who enslaved him that you need to leave England and be free. He sculptured the first statue of freedom. and it sits in the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. as you enter the hall of the Capitol building. It was built by a black slave. He envisioned it. He sculptured it. So we gave you freedom. Now, who do you think built the roads of this country? Okay, we did. Forget that. Forget that. We built, listen, the brush had to be cleared out the way. The mountains had to be moved. The dirt had to be moved and leveled. The bushes had to, the trees. Who do you think they were going to pay somebody to do that? We built all these roads in this country. The slaves built it.
So true.
We built Wall Street. How did we build Wall Street? In the early years, Wall Street was a banking capital. And what was happening, the banks were being attacked by the foreign governments because they were trying to offset the United States, and other people were attacking the banks, so it needed protection. Guess who built the wall of Wall Street? African Americans. 40 African American slaves built the wall of Wall Street. So we built the White House, we built Wall Street, we built Washington, D.C. We built the infrastructure of this country. I could go on and on.
Right.
Now,
You know, I hate to interrupt you, okay? Because we've got a great flow going here. Is it okay? Can you hang around for a few more minutes, Wesley, to enlighten us a little bit more? Because I know you had the schedule. We had you scheduled for a specific time frame. But maybe we can bring you back for this quick segment after this break, and we'll detail a little bit more, okay?
And there's
more.
Right.
Got a quick break. We're going to come right back with Reverend Tony Pierce, and we're going to get some money going here, y'all.
Yeah,
we're going to learn the history. Now we got time to get some money. All right. All right, and we are back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth tonight. All right, we have just gotten a powerful history lesson about how to, frame your head right. Because one thing, when you get history, now you know how to move forward. But the one problem is you can't live in your history. Okay, that is your idea for your path to move forward. And I think one of the problems that we have in this community is we continue to live in the past, and that is not going to propel us to wealth at the end of the day. So, Pastor Tony, give us an idea or a brief an idea how this process can start as to re-educating the minds of typically African American people, or people in general, so they can become better managers of their finances.
Okay. First, this is the most important thing. you work hard. You've worked hard. We're not lazy people. This country wouldn't be here if we were lazy. Okay, so pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. This is very important. Don't be ashamed to do that. Don't think you stepping on anybody's feet. You worked for it. It's your money.
That's right.
Get it. Pay yourself first. So the first thing when you get paid, pay yourself. How do you do that? You put the money somewhere for you. For you. So you take a piece of whatever you get. Let's say you get $10, okay? So take minimal $1, 10% of that $10 and put it somewhere to work for you. Now, money has to work for you or it's not going to do any good. You can get money and it'll just be blown away if you don't make it work for you. How do you make it work for you? Well, you have to invest money in order to make it work for you. And there's no sure thing. Nothing is 100% sure, but there are some investments that are guaranteed. And you can start with banks, for example. You can put a bank account in, you can put up to $250,000 in the bank and you will not lose it. In a savings account, you can put up to $250,000 and the government stands behind it. You will not lose it. Now, you can also put $250,000 in your partner's account. And that money is safe. You will not, and you're paying yourself. Do that first. When you get $10, before you do anything, take that dollar and give it to you first. $100, take that $10, $500, take that $50. Don't you spend that. You're throwing it away. Pay yourself first. Now, there's other type of investments where you can make even more money. I don't know how much time we have. I'd love to talk to you about that, but pay yourself first.
All right, wonderful. Parnell?
Oh no, I was just nodding because I did some.
But I wanted to add something to what you said in the previous segment. This is why it's so important that we know our history. Right. And I'm not gonna stay too long on it, but I just wanted to add this little tidbit. Okay. If America would have written its wrongs in 1968 when Martin Luther King was trying to get the Poor People's Campaign together and march down to Washington to get the check that was so rightfully deserved, that we rightfully deserved as Black people, but not only as Black people, but a nation of poor people who were robbed of a lot of their finance. If they would have started that in 1968, that would have been, this country would probably been in a better situation. People like to just end Martin Luther King's career with "I Have a Dream," but there was a Poor People's Campaign to help Black people, farmers, but also poor whites that didn't care about it, but they were in the planning. But to go back to what we're talking about with money, economics. You studied economics. Yes. Is it so important for for the population of not only Black people, but people in general, working class people? Because we have found out during the pandemic that the stimulus money wasn't enough because a lot of people blew that out the water. And now we're having to pay that back through inflations, through all types of high cost, gas and all that craziness. Is it so important to know economics? And I just wanted to get your...
Absolutely. Economics is important. Economics is very important. Economics is what money is all about. Don't be afraid of money. It's yours. Reparations is yours. It's your money. You want it now.
Yes.
You don't need to be afraid of money at all. Martin Luther King was great. And if he'd have lived, he'd have pushed that economic issue. He was working on the social issues and he shifted to economics. And he said that America has written us a check and it's come back stamped insufficient funds. And so if you said if you'd have given us the money in 1968, Listen, in 1865, you told us you were going to give us 40 acres, okay? We didn't have anything to do with that. That's what you said. We didn't have any say-so in it. But you never gave us that. If you gave us the 40 acres in 1865, equivalent to $1 million back then, be okay. But do you know $1 million in 1865, what that is today? That's $200 million today. So we're being nice to you. Now, if you say you don't want to pay, well, then okay, you pay it all. You pay it all. Then if you think you're paying for all of it, listen, I'm going to give you a little thing here. Do you know we pay more taxes, African Americans, than any other ethnic group in this country? I said it.
Yes.
We pay more taxes, and I'll tell you how. We're the #1 spending group of any nationality in any ethnic group in this country.
And we brag about it too a lot.
Spending the money, if you're spending the money, guess what? You're paying more sales tax.
Right.
Yes.
We pay taxes too. Come on. So if you don't want to complain about it, don't want to do it, we're trying to pay for our own hurt. That's our money. We want it now. We pay our taxes and we want to help with the payments. But if you want to step up and act all big shot and say you don't want to do it, then you pay it then.
Right. Harold, go ahead.
So Reverend Tony, actor and comedian Faison Love thinks that reparation money will ultimately be wasted. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay. Now, that's a misnomer. See, that is a misnomer. God bless him, but that has been taught. You see, that's part of what we've been taught, that we can't handle money. You shouldn't have money. Money is bad. Money is good. Woo!
It sure is.
Money is good. Okay?
Yes.
So, no, the thing is, what we like as Black people, we like the shiny things because we ain't never had nothing. Everything we had was dirty, old, and used as slave. We never had nothing new. So if we could get a shiny new pair of shoes, we wanted that. What it's called economically, there's actually a name for this. It's called Vauban goods.
What is that?
Vauban goods. Thornstein Vauban in 1899 came up with this concept. And it's a thing like you get people liking these shiny things, and then you start raising the price on it, and they want it more because it's shiny and it's going up in price. So they want more, and then you reach a point where they just drop it and walk away and go create something else shiny for you to get. So it's a misnomer that we can't handle money. No. I mean, there's no ethnic group that can handle money better than anybody else. Some people think the Jews, but no, they're not. Okay. And so the thing is, we can handle money too. Give it to us, we'll handle it. It's our money.
But Reverend Tony, but we make a lot of money, but we don't have any wealth. Why is that?
We don't make a lot of money. Black people don't have no money. We don't own no car companies. We don't make no airplane. We don't own an airline. We don't own nothing. They kept us out.
We own a whole bunch of Louis Vuitton and Gucci.
We ain't got no money.
We own a whole bunch of Louis Vuitton and
Gucci. You heard Negro rich. You heard the term. He's Negro rich. He's Black rich. He African American rich. Yeah. You ain't got no money. So the thing is, I'm just not you. I'm just saying.
Oh no, I got plenty of money.
Yeah, I know you do. And listen, spread it around, brother. Spread it around. But so we haven't had an opportunity to work with money. It's all been systematically. This is in the system, systematically kept from us. Do you know the first governor of California was a racist? Google it. Look it up. In fact, our current governor, has called him a racist. He was a head of the Ku Klux Klan.
Right.
Oh, wow. First governor of California. So I'm just saying, It's systematically been kept. That's why you ain't got no money.
Right.
But what
That's
you
why they
have
ain't
to
got no
start
money.
doing
Yeah.
is what I said. Pay yourself first.
Right. So let me say this, because I know we're going to run out of time real shortly. So drop a few nuggets on us right now, because we're going to certainly we're going to keep bringing you back, once a month to really to build this whole idea so that people can be prepared. So when their reparation shows up in their account, they know what to do with it. Okay.
Yes.
So but give us just a few pointers, okay, as to what way the investment piece that you spoke of a little earlier. I know you said investing in yourself. So what direction can we go? That actually we have to break it down to like 1 minute. If you can kind of give us that real fast.
Okay, you got to invest. First of all, money sitting does no good. It ain't gonna do nothing for you, and eventually you're gonna spend it and waste it. So don't do that. I said invest in yourself. So the safest thing is a bank. There's annuities, there's the stock market, there's commodities. There's so many different ways that you can do it. I'd be happy to tell you next time. If you had $1,000 and you invest it right, you can turn it into $1 million. I'll save that for next time.
Yes. Thank you for that. Man, this is good. That was a good nugget to drop on. I hope y'all paying attention to this tonight, okay? Because this is good. It's been a rich history lesson. Number one,
a CRT and a financial.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it really has, and I am really thankful for our friendship. Number one, Reverend. I mean, it's been a blessing to me. As you know, privately, we've been a blessing to one another. In many ways. And I'm looking forward to that expanding. As we are at this particular point in time. But to our audience, check out our website is being redone. Give us a couple of weeks, and you'll find out how to get in touch with Reverend Pierce. And we'll be able to go to our website to be in touch with everything that he's got going on. Okay, right here in California and throughout the country, so that you can be in position for this financial explosion. Okay, I'm going to call it a financial explosion. Okay, because it's going to happen, guys. It's happening. The universe is speaking it. We're getting in position. I mean, if you're not hearing what the universe is telling you to line yourself up, you missed the point about being here tonight. Okay, because the universe is yelling. Okay, it's truly yelling at the end of the day. But anyway, we got to run for a quick minute. Pastor Tony, thank you so much for being with us tonight. It has been a powerful night. We look forward to you coming back next time with more information. And like you said, find out, invest in some annuities. Start making some money for yourself. Pastor Tony, thank you again. All right, we'll see you soon.
Yes.
Have a great night, and thanks for being with us.
Yeah. I guess we're on break now.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining in on the Truth Behind the Truth, the Money Wellness Night. Man, I am full. Woo! I mean, full with knowledge. I mean, oh my God.
But can I also put this out there for our audience? You know what? It's something to say when we have to understand history is out there. You have to go seek out the information. Let me tell you this little tidbit. I was on YouTube the other day, and I was just watching it, and it's called Hollywoodism, and it's called How the Jews Invented Hollywood. Now, I saw that documentary, not even just watching it, not trying to get any information out of it, but I found it interesting that in this city that I live in, I am living in a form of generational wealth. When he was talking about the cities, the black cities that were burnt down, you have to think about when in Los Angeles did not build up until these studios built up, which were called steros. They are presented as if you go by Paramount or Sony Studios out there in Culver City or in Burbank, Warner Brothers, they're built like steros. That was a small community in Eastern Europe that the Jews lived in when there were situations where they were outcasts. So they had close communities that they lived in to inform each other of their tradition. If you watch Fiddler on the Roof, it tells you that. But you have to understand that this is information that is out there for you to grab some understanding. If you keep shunning the information, because he told us the truth. This is the truth. We as black people were robbed of our wealth, of our generational wealth. And the information is out there. Just like this information is all here on YouTube. It's just out there. And I understand that people sometimes want to get in their feelings about race and money and economics, but trust me, you will understand by and by why it is really important for you to know these things living in a capitalistic system, as well as being a man and a female, because there are gender wars in the money that we make, even on our jobs. We know that women are not making enough money as well as their male counterparts. So you have to understand economics. That's just the way it is in the reality that we live in as a working class or an upper class citizen of this country. So don't get in your feelings when we are talking about these subjects, because this is information that needs to be taught in our schools, number one. But I just want to put that out there. If whoever was offended, don't get offended. Just go seek out the information and you will understand what he was talking about.
Well, I mean, just to piggyback on this, one thing I want to make everybody feel good, there is enough money to go around.
Yes, it is.
Okay, there's enough money to go around. And we don't need to be in a place of being offended because the knowledge of a people group that has been shunned from that opportunity of experiencing all of that money to go around. What really should happen is that you should be on board with the knowledge being put out there so this community can be better. You know, so this community can be better. And that should be the push of all of us. You know, at the end of the day, we have friends and love. Hey, it ain't, and really at the end of the day, it's about race, but it's not about race.
It's not about race.
It's about the thing
about fairness.
It's about fairness and and true honesty. Because the one thing for sure, and I'm gonna say this real quick. Okay, I'm gonna drop a little nugget on you. If the government decided to, what if they wanted to do to take money from everybody here, guess what? It ain't gonna be no color. We're all gonna be a bunch of people without money. Okay, you know, at the end of the day, that's not gonna happen. But at the end, but it could. Okay, so if we're in our feelings about a situation because finally a group of people of color have awakened themselves, okay, from the burdens of religion and misogyny and bad teachings and traditions and all these other type of things that we have carried over, into this present life, which we should have left to go a long time ago. Don't be offended. Just get behind us and go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it. Anyway, I'm sure you guys wanted to elaborate on tonight.
Yeah,
running about.
I wanted to respond to Mary Lynn's question about her son and his business. Because my son is 20, owns his own business. Asked me, should I take my money out of the bank before I lose it? This is what I've learned from some financial advisors. Banks are not where you make your money. Banks are only for transactions. That's not where you save your money hoping it's going to make it, because most of them are like not even paying
less than 1%
here. So you're not going to make money. So that's what Pastor Tony was talking about, investments in like insurance and annuities. Those things are where, like, the rich people, that's where they put their money to get money. Your real estate and all those things, those are where you're going to do it. Just putting it in the bank, just have enough money there to cover your transaction, your business, but don't put your money in your bank thinking, I'm gonna make all this money because I got all this money in the bank. It's like, guess what? You invest $1,000, at the end of the year, you'll have $1,100.
$1,000.
Well, let me correct you on one thing, partner.
Uh-huh.
Okay, just one little correction. Did you say the rich people or did you say we rich people?
God, I'm not gonna sit there and lie. I'm a thousandaire. I ain't a millionaire.
but you remember what Pastor Tony said a minute ago. See, you gotta say it. You gotta put that thing on it. You gotta affirm it. And everybody on this show is rich and wealthy.
Yes, okay? And you gotta believe it. And you gotta believe it.
You gotta believe it. You are
believe.
Believe in something. Why not believe in me?
This is what I believe. I have taken steps to put my money to work for me so that I can get and
the
say
rich man that you are.
Yes.
be like Blanche Devereaux. Believe. You got to believe.
Did you have a quick point here on those fans about tonight? Did you want to?
No, I'm just glad that the conversation around reparations is happening for African Americans.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And we'll see where it goes. My only concern is that it seems like the numbers that they're throwing out are so outlandish. I'm wondering if that is just really reasonable, right. But I'm glad that the conversation is happening.
Yeah. Well, we have to really think about that. Is the dollar figure that they, we say that America has got a lot of money and whatever the case would be. I don't know. Okay.
Have you been watching the news lately?
Hold on. Because y'all in debt. Y'all in deficit in California. Y'all know where y'all gonna get this money from.
That's what I'm saying. And the way y'all, because if you're talking about $5 million per person, you know how much money that is,
right? And I think y'all are in
the four of us that broke the bank. Okay.
In California right now, I think it's like in a $20 billion deficit or something like that.
Exactly.
So I don't know where this money's going to come from.
We're in a $1 trillion deficit as a country. So, so that's we'll pick that up next time. All right. But anyway, guys, we want to thank you for tuning in tonight. Now, we really, really hope that, that you've gotten inspired, and learned from tonight. Take these steps to start applying them to your life because, we want wealthy people. Because you know what? We got some t-shirts we're going to start selling to y'all. Okay. And we're on trying to check the account to make sure that the money was in there to buy the t-shirt. Okay. We got some mugs that's going to be coming to y'all. We want y'all to buy them. Okay. But anyway, and guess most of all, we want y'all to start sending some money. Okay. So the Cash App going to come up, the Venmo going to come up, and the Zelle going to be up there for you to send us some money so that we can empower our wealth. But anyway, we thank you guys for tuning in tonight. It has been a rich show with Pastor Tony. I mean, I am full. Full of the excitement of what we have that's been made available for us, and to lean in. More tidbits are going to be dropped on you when he comes back the next time. It'll be sometime in April, but hey, I'm ready for it. I'm already ready. I got my pen ready. All right, guys.
You deserve to be rich.
Yes, absolutely deserve it. Yes, you deserve to be. Thank you, here. That was a good point to close on. We all deserve to be rich. Thank you for tuning into the Truth Behind the Truth Line. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.